them into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. And Murphy, it's tourney time, and that's always fun time.
That's what everybody's been working for. Now's when it really counts. You know, there are some opportunities to lose a game or two along the way and still advance, but not many.
No.
Not very many.
You're okay if you lose in the district semis or the district finals. Region quarters, of course, it's lose or go home, and then region semis, it's lose or go home. If you get to the region finals, that means you're in the sub-state, and no, I don't like sectional. I'm going to call it sub-state, and then which is only 16 teams left, and then you got 8 teams that go to Murfreesboro to play in the Murphy Center.
We need to remind people this year, because of 4 classifications, they're only going to have the state tournament those 4 days like it's always been.
Right.
They're going to start basketball at 9:30 in the morning every day.
Wall-to-wall basketball for sure. Let's go ahead and look at our featured game. Of course, Josh Age and I were privileged to get to call this game. Watertown wins it over Red Boiling 45-26. Red Boiling's best player and leading scorer 2 nights earlier at Byrdstown got a little criticism from the coach and decided I'm done. And she walked off the floor, the way I understand it, and she did not play in this game. They started an 8th grader, in fact, did Red Boiling Springs, who really struggled offensively. As you'll see a little bit later, Red Boiling Springs did rebound to knock Gordonsville out of the tournament at Livingston last night. But that was transition time, I'm sure, for the Bulldogs and head coach Tara Pryor. Now, this boys' game, it was a thriller if you got there for the last 5.5 minutes. And you say, what are you talking about? Red Boiling leads 45, no, let's see, hold on, let me make sure I'm telling this right. Yeah, 45-26 with 5.5 minutes to go in the game. Game over, right? Wrong. Watertown makes a huge comeback, outscores them 23-2, and wins it at the buzzer on a Dacio Carter shot. Goodall was tied up, should have been a jump ball right in front of the Watertown bench, wasn't called. He just wrestles it away from 2 Red Boiling players, and then he's got a 2-on-1 and dishes it to Dacio Carter on the left block. He hits a bank shot, and there wasn't a whole lot of people. A lot of people left at halftime because it's such a one-sided game.
Almost 20 points.
Right, and they turn around, and Watertown comes back, gets a very emotional win to improve to 6-20. Red Boiling's led by the district MVP, Colton Copus, who had 19, and Maxie Wilson had 10. But Red Boiling Springs just made a lot of mistakes, made some bad shots, missed some open shots to allow Watertown to go on that run. And, that was a big win for Kevin Honeycutt's team for sure to end the regular season.
Probably plenty of Watertown people that didn't even sleep that night.
Right. It was senior night for Watertown as well.
My goodness.
Let's go ahead and look at the Gordonsville girls' scores. They lost the final 2 regular season games. They fell to Clark Range. Last Thursday, as you can see, 66-41. Lamar Rogers, the state's all-time winningest girls coach, notches another victory. 45, nearly 50 years up there for him. And then Van Buren County nudges Gordonsville 62-59. Gordonsville had one of their most productive offensive games of the year, but came up just a little short.
3-point shot would have sent it into overtime.
Right, that is for sure. Let's go ahead and look at the Gordonsville regular season standings. Pickett County finishes at 8-0, 20-2 overall. Then you got Clay County and Clark Range wound up in that 2-3 spot. The only thing is we look at the bracket in a minute, who wears home or away, because they met in the district semifinals. Red Boiling Springs and Gordonsville played last night in that 4-5 game. Unfortunately, Gordonsville's season comes to an end. I guess Coach Bush gets his softball girls back, ready to make a state championship run again like I did a year ago. But Red Boiling Springs will now play Pickett County. So we look at the bracket. Pickett County, number 1 seed, they play Red Boiling, and then Clay County plays Clark Range. Pickett has been, kind of hands down the best team in this district this year.
And they look like they're going to be one of the best teams in the state tournament too.
And, there's a few things to go between now and then, but Brent Smith's team looks to be poised to make another state tournament run. what's so surprise about that? Right?
Yeah, right.
Let's go ahead and look at the Gordonsville boys scores brought to you by Sonic of Carthage. Gordonsville gets the win over Clark Range, 62-51. And then on Saturday night, even though there was some tees flying around the gym, Gordonsville gets the win 66-59. And when I say tees, I'm talking about technical fouls. But Gordonsville wins it by 7. As we look now at the standings for the district, of course, Pickett County was upset last Thursday night by Red Boiling Springs. Red Boiling's the number 3 seed, Gordonsville the number 2 seed. Those two teams, as we'll see in a minute, will play. Clay County, number 4 seed, beat Clark Range to knock them out of the tournament last night. So Clay County will play Pickett. Let's go ahead and look at the bracket. On Friday night, 6:30 and 8. That tournament is at Livingston Academy, both the girls and the boys. The boys consolation game will be on Tuesday, February the 20th at 6:30, and then the championship will be at 8. Gordonsville's beat Red Boiling twice during the regular season, but Red Boiling with Colton Copus, I still think Gordonsville advances to play Pickett in the championship game, and it's awful important, Murphy, that you get to the championship game. That means you get to host in the first round of the region in that region quarterfinals, which will be upcoming on the 24th, I think it is, for the boys, and 23rd for the girls. So very important that Gordonsville will get the win over Red Boiling.
Terry, you've seen a lot of these teams and talked to a lot of people about these teams. Does Gordonsville have a chance to go deep in the regional tournament, you think?
Well, I think so. There's some awfully tough teams, Murphy, awaiting them in the region tournament when you look at the team. We'll talk to Joseph Amonett, and he'll kind of highlight some of those teams on the other side that have solid squads. I think Gordonsville and Pickett both. Yes, can they get there? Could they get beat in the early round? Yes, because I think even the number 3 team and maybe even the number 4 team, they're no shoe-in to where you just show up and you say, yep, Gordonsville Pickett's going to win because they're at home. That might not happen. I mean, you're going to face some pretty tough competition in the opening round of the Region 4A tournament, which is District 8A, which is toward the Nashville area.
Right.
Let's go ahead and look at the regular season girls standing for District 9AA, of which Murph gets to cover the Lionettes and the Lions, and County undefeated there, and the cream of the crop inside the district. And Murphy, they were really never threatened in a lot of the games that I got to listen to or kind of kept up the scores. Are they automatic to win the district championship at Cascade? No, they're not. But I think Coach Ashley Patrick's got her squad in great position to win the district and then get to host first round. And then, of course, you'll be traveling to Loretto for that region semifinals and region finals, which both hopefully is in the future of the Lions and the Lionettes.
Yeah, we hope so. Loretta's got an awfully good girls team, but so does Summertown.
Right.
They've that district over there is very, very tough at the top,
right.
And allowing Loretta to play on their home floor just makes it that much more difficult. But you're right, Cannon County is pretty solid. I've been very impressed with that girls team this year. Only 2 seniors on the whole 13-girl roster, so they're going to be around for a while.
Murphy, when you look at these teams, and Cannon has not been challenged that much during their regular season District 9AA play, but when you look at playing the teams they played non-district, I think that should help them in tournament time, just because they played White County twice, who's the number 1 team in Class 3A.
Sure.
When you look at some of the teams that the Lionettes have played, I think that toughens you up for down the road.
One of the really good 3A girls teams in this area is Central Magnet, and they had that team beat. I still think the officials changed the outcome of that ball game a little bit, the one that was played in Murfreesboro. But yeah, I think Ashley does a really good job of keeping those girls grounded, letting them know what they need to do. They're a very, very fast basketball team, and their fast break is on 2 out of every 3 plays.
Right.
And they're going to be difficult for some people down the road.
They've got such, starting 5 is solid. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Hopefully nobody gets in foul trouble. But I think, they've got to have Miley Swartz and Liv Prater. They've got to step up when they need minutes for that team not to lose ground when they have to put subs in. And, that's easier said than done, not trying to put extra pressure on them. But their starting 5 is very, very solid.
Well, they are. And, almost every game, 4 of those 5 starters are in double figures.
Right.
So it's not just one person the opposing team has to worry about. It's a whole dadgum starting 5.
Let's go ahead and look at the girls tournament bracket for District 9 AA, and they're doing a little bit different than these other teams. They played their semifinal games on Tuesday night. The boys, we're taping here on Wednesday. Tonight's the boys.
Those were the play-in games that they played on Monday night.
Right, Monday. Right. But I'm talking about most people are not playing till this weekend.
Right.
Thursday or Friday, or Friday and Saturday. Thursday night, the tournament's going to be over, so there's going to be an 8-day layoff for Cannon County after they play the championship game at 7:30 against the host Cascade, third seeded Lady Champions. They're going to have an 8-day layoff because they don't play until the following Friday, which is the 23rd, in a regional quarterfinal game, usually at 7 p.m. local time, and that would be in Woodbury.
It wasn't quite that many days, but they had a break for about 5 or 6 days with the weather, where they never stepped foot.
I was going to say there was 5 or 6 days, and then there was like a 12 or 14 day where they didn't have a game, and that kind of throws some teams off, especially if you've got a lot of momentum, Murph.
Yeah, didn't seem to affect the girls all that much, though. I think if barring a major injury or something, I think Cannon County's girls, and probably the boys too, are going to be teams to be reckoned with on down the road.
Let's go ahead and look at the 9AA boys district standings. Of course, you've got Cannon County. They had that one slip up all year long, but Jared Nave's team, he kind of called it a wake-up call, Murph. And sometimes a loss late in the postseason or late in the regular season helps you in the postseason in the fact that it gets the guys' attention. So Coach Nave, not that his players do not listen, that's not the point, but I think it lets them know, hey, we've got to bring our A game every night.
That's just human nature. When you're beating every team you play 10, 15, 20 points, sometimes you think all you got to do is show up, and they found out the hard way. But as you said, it's timing-wise, it's a good thing, and it's got them refocused as they get ready for the postseason.
Let's go ahead and look at the boys tournament bracket. Of course, Cannon County on 1C. They'll play Cascade, who beat Forest. Cascade playing, of course, on their home floor. Then, Cannon County gets by Cascade. That ensures that first round of the region game on Saturday, February the 24th to be at home. Community in Grundy County, Murphy, should be a close game, although we have seen Community at times play some excellent basketball.
And that's the team that beat Cannon County.
Right.
Their one loss in district play. So, and it was a rowdy bunch when we went to Coalmont to play at Grundy County. It was a very close ball game until the second half. So that's 2 pretty good teams down there in the bottom part of that bracket.
Of course, Friday night at 6 on February 16th is going to be the consolation, and then at 7:30 is going to be the championship. Murphy, when you look at Cascade, and it's a little bit of a drive, but not that much for Cannon County.
No.
I think anytime I go to a Cannon County game, whether it's home, whether it's away, I don't care if it's in Cookeville, Sparta, Cross, it doesn't matter. They travel. I guarantee the Lion Mafia, I guess you'd say, or the Lion Mob will be at Cascade High School.
They'll be a major force. They were last night in the girls' game, and after that first game was over last night with Cascade and Community girls exiting the gym, the Cannon County mafia, as you called it, there was as many people there as everybody else put together.
Right. That's the one thing, and I say this in postseason, when you see Cannon County, you go back to Michael Dodgen's days as the coach there, I think that's one reason they pulled a lot of upsets through the years. Just their fans willing them, helping them, enthusiastically cheering them on. I think that got them some W's, and I look forward to maybe make a difference again this year.
The thing that impresses me is a goodly number of those people in the stands rooting for Cannon County. Mm-hmm. They don't have any kids still playing. They don't have any grandkids still playing, but they're still there at the ball game cheering those kids on, and the kids appreciate it.
When I go to Woodbury, I always see a lot of former players there, Murphy, and I think that says kudos for them because they still care about the program, and I know with Coach Dodgen and now Coach Patrick, who played for Coach Dodgen, it's very important that those alumni stay active and stay involved and support these kids.
Well, Coach Patrick also coaches a little boy's 6-7-year-old AAU travel basketball team too. So it's in her blood, 110% for sure.
We'll check out the District 7 AAA and District 5 AA when we return to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
At DTC, we're proud to provide the communication and entertainment services you need to get the most from today's technology.
Get a $50 bill credit when you add or upgrade your internet package with us. Supercharge your video streaming and high-performance gaming because we've got you covered.
Get the technology you want, backed by local customer service from neighbors you know and trust. DTC Communications, your total communications provider.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Farrell. We want to thank our title sponsor, which is Carthage Safeway. We invite you to go over and see Todd and Angela. They've got a great selection of food all day long. You can get it on the turntable in the front or in the back. They've got a plate lunch. They've got breakfast. Go by and see Todd and Angela.
If they don't have it, you don't need it.
That's right. But they can probably get it if they don't have it. Let's go ahead and look at DeKalb County's girls score, brought to you by Sonica Carthage. They fall to Stone Memorial 66-54. Of course, we had the DeKalb and Stone game at DeKalb earlier on DTC in the Huff Puff Trucking Game of the Week. Then you got Warren County beating DeKalb County in a close game on Saturday night to end their regular season.
Boy, that was a nail biter there, it looks like.
Definitely was with the Lady Pioneers. Let's go ahead and taking a look at our standings for the girls. White County, the number one team in Class 3A in the state, sitting on top there. Upland number 2, Livingston, Cumberland County, Stone, and DeKalb. Looking on further as we look at what's ahead as far as the bracket goes. Of course, they're not starting like some teams earlier in the week. They're waiting to play at Tennessee Tech, and they're going to kind of cram it into 4 days on Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. Of course, you got Cumberland County and Stone, then Livingston and DeKalb. You've got to win that game to get to the region and get to the semifinals. White County, number 1 seed, Upland, number 2, waiting in the wings. But it looks that White County and Upland probably got the cream of the crop in the 2 teams to beat in District 7 AAA. Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb boys scores, brought to you by Sonica Carthage. Stone Memorial beats DeKalb by 13, and then Warren County beats DeKalb on Saturday night by 16. Let's go ahead and look at the standings for the district. Upland sitting on top at 9-1, Stone at 8-2, Livingston at 6-4. White County kind of free falling after jumping out there 4-0, I think, in the district. They've only won 1 of their last 6. They struggled earlier than in the year, but then when they got to district play, right at the first of the year, I'm talking about early in the season, they struggled and seem to be struggling a little bit more now. But it seems that, Upland and Stone are probably the 2 teams to beat. There's not a lot of difference in Stone Memorial and Livingston. Livingston, kind of a short team. They're not very tall, and any height kind of bothers them, and they haven't shot the ball as well as they did a year ago.
Terry, who's the one team that beat Upperman in the district? You recall?
Oh, I was thinking it was Stone, but I may be wrong.
Because when you look at Stone's record in the district, it looks like they probably lost both games to Upperman, and then you look at Livingston, and it looks like they probably lost both games to Upperman and Stone Memorial.
I don't have those scores in front of me, Murph. Let's go ahead and look at the boys tournament bracket at Tennessee Tech. They're going to be playing on Friday. Of course, there's 4 games that day, so you've got basketball wall to wall.
Get your money's worth on that one.
4 games, I think, on Saturday as well. And then the consolation and championship. Bring you a pillow. It's 7:30 and 9 on Tuesday, February the 20th. But it should be a good one from up at Tennessee Tech. Of course, that's a great venue to sit and watch a game. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County girls. Of course, their only game at home. Smith County runs out on top 10-0 in that game. My niece Chloe had 8 of those points. Bill Lander's gym is rocking, but then they had a couple of girls. To the Werner kid, a sophomore guard, got hot. So did Gabby Beatty. They combined for 41 points. That's about a 4-6 point game. Start of the 4th quarter. Smith County tries to trap and press them. Murph, it was like we were stapled to the floor, and
oh dear,
York just kicked in the afterburners, and you got to give Beatty a lot of credit. Not only did she have the 20 points, but she had several assists where she hit players that were wide open, and that's the reason she's a Miss Basketball fan.
That's why a lot of people are fearing York, because they can get behind, but it doesn't bother them. They know what they need to do to come back.
They were cool and composed, and you got to give the Dragonettes credit, because there was a huge Smith County crowd there, and that didn't faze them in the least.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown girls score. Of course, they traveled to Gainsborough on Friday night and lost 45-35. They had beaten Jackson County in the earlier game at Watertown. And then on Saturday night, Macy Braley played well. She had 17. They beat Red Boylan 45-26. That was their Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week on DTC Sports, the final regular season game of the year. So as we turn our attention now to the District 5 AA girls standings, York on top at 8-0. Smith County 6-2. Watertown wins the coin toss over Jackson County. They're the 3 seed. Jackson County's 4 and Monterey is 5. Let's look at the tournament bracket now. Had a game last night. Jackson County at home beats Monterey 54-37. That ensures they'll make a trip to the region as they'll play against top seed York. And then the other one, Smith County and Watertown. Smith County won by 11 in the game at Carthage, and the last week of regular season, they beat Watertown at Watertown by 8. But Watertown could beat Smith County in that game, Murph. There's not that much difference in those two teams.
You could probably predict the rest of those bracket lines, but that's the thing about basketball at this time of year. It ain't over until it's over, and somebody's going to pull a big upset somewhere.
And of course, Jackson County played at home. I don't see them beating York just because they're not a good matchup for the Dragonettes, but you can say that about a lot of teams across the state. York has played an extremely tough schedule. In fact, they played Gatlinburg-Pittman right out of the chute. Gatlinburg-Pittman, probably a great opportunity to win the Class AA championship this year. They took them to overtime, if I remember right, and York lost by 1 or 2 points.
Haven't they also played McMinn Central?
They have. York's just played a ton of great teams, and you got to give them credit. They realized they were going to have a pretty good team, but they hadn't shied away from the competition, and they've played a lot of teams and traveled a lot of miles in actually doing that.
And that generally pays a lot of dividends when the tournament time comes around.
Yeah. York girls going to have the short drive to Gallatin to play at Liberty Creek if they get to the region semifinals and finals. That's only probably about I'm going to say 2.5 hour trip, something like that. I don't think it's 3. It's 90 miles from Carthage. It's about an hour from there down to Liberty Creek. If you hadn't seen Liberty Creek's campus, you need to do so. It is outstanding, phenomenal. It's a new school. It looks like a college campus, really, especially with all the facilities that they have. Seth Massey, former Station Camp head coach, is now the AD out there. Seth coached no other than John Jenkins that played at Vanderbilt and then went on and played with the Atlanta Hawks and some different NBA teams.
A lot of people that I've talked to that have been to their campus, they just come back in awe and won't quit stopping about how great that place looks.
Of course, he's the AD, and hopefully Smith County's both teams will get there, and we'll get an opportunity to see that facility. If not, I'll get to see it next fall when the Owls travel down to Liberty Creek to play them in football during
on the turf.
On the turf, that is for sure. Let's go ahead and look at some more Sonica Carthage scores. Smith County boys gave it a swirl. They battled York, but wound up losing by 4. 2 huge plays. They had breakaway layups, did York. They missed them. Smith County, all 5 players didn't hustle back. And they gave up 2 field goals that way. And then after a missed free throw, they had a 5'8" kid, the only one player. There's 4 Smith County players down there. The 5'8" kid gets the rebound and went up and scored 2 points. That was the difference in that ball game.
My goodness, gave them a good run.
Yeah.
York will be gunning for them as well, just like Smith County will be gunning for York.
Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown boys scores. Of course, they did not play well in Gainesboro, lost 67-36. And then the big comeback that we told you about in our game of the week, where Watertown gets the big scoring run there, 22-2, something like that. Down 19, wound up winning 48-47 on Dacio Carter's last second shot. Let's go ahead and look at the District 5AA boys standings. York on top at 8-0, but just like the girls, they played a really tough schedule. We didn't mention there about McMinn Central. York has played Cookville. Cookville in 4A is ranked in the top 10 of the state as well.
Wow.
And Smith County boys, they're the 2 seed. Jackson County's the 3 seed, just due to a coin toss. And then Watertown and Monterey. Let's go ahead and look at the boys standings. And unfortunately for Watertown, after such a great run a year ago, sadly disappointed, I know, is Kevin Honeycutt. His team came up short in Gainesboro, lost in the opening round to end their season at 6-21 as Monterey wins it 60-46. We saw, in fact, in the Smith County game, Murphy, that Monterey, who was very inexperienced, only had 1 or 2 kids that played much on the team a year ago, first-year head coach. We saw them battle Smith County tough in the first half. In fact, after the first quarter, they led. Monterey's girls led, And then in the boys game, it was a lot the same. Smith County and Monterey were tied. Finally, the Owls made a push and done it out just like the Lady Owls. But Monterey at times has played some good basketball. Sounded like they put 4 quarters together. They had not won a district game all year, but they upset Watertown last night.
You just never know what's going to happen when tournament time rolls around. Especially those early rounds like that where you've got to win that first game to advance to the region.
Monterey will play against York, and Smith County will play at Jackson County. Smith County got boat raced in the game in Gainesboro early this year, lose by 25 points probably in that game before turning around and winning at home in overtime. Jackson County is probably the favorite in that contest. Let's go ahead and look at, as we talk about that tournament, Murphy, I know that it has to be where one of these teams get to host it. But I feel like Jackson County or whoever gets to play at home, Smith County didn't take advantage of that last year with the boys. Smith County boys got upset by Watertown in that. Smith County won the regular season game, had never hosted a district tournament as far as I know, and then Watertown knocks them off. You've got to take advantage of playing on your home floor if you get to host that district.
That should make a big difference, but the one loss that Cannon County has this year to community was on Cannon County's floor. So it doesn't always work that way.
We'll take these next few minutes and congratulate some of our teams and the honors that they got. First of all, we'll start out with Watertown. As far as the girls go, you had Macy Brayley and Madison King. They were on the first team, all-district 5AA. Looking on down, Watertown had honorable mention, Kiera McClary as honorable mention, and Easy Burns, and Molly Followell, the freshman point guard for Watertown. The all-freshman team, Followell was a participant on that. But I know Jeff Keller, he probably didn't care like a lot of coaches about these honors, but it's good for the girls to be recognized by their peers. And when I say their peers, the other teams in their district.
It makes a big difference, and it gives them the positiveness that coaches look for in their players as well.
We want to talk about the Watertown boys now on the all-district 5AA. They had J.J. Goodall. Unfortunately, his season came to a close last night. He is a senior. Been an outstanding player for Watertown, was key last year in their sub-state run. He's on the first team all-district. Then you look down and you've got Marcus Reynolds, was a member of the second team. When you look at Watertown, not the year that they wanted. I mean, wound up 6-21 after being in the sub-state. But Watertown had a lot of inexperienced kids that hopefully gained some experience this year, Murphy, which, and he had a lot of freshmen on that team, should help them down the road.
Yeah, it's one of those up and down things, but even though, like you said, they advanced as far as they did last year, that was far, far beyond what most people expected back in the start of the season.
They were expecting, of course, they were automatic to go to the region because there were only 4 teams in the district a year ago. A lot of people said, hey, region quarterfinals were done. But they showed
they weren't ready
winning the district championship and advancing the region championship, and then going on the road in the sub-state game that we covered here on DTC. They came up just 1 game short of making it to the Glass House in Murfreesboro. Let's go ahead and thank Gordonsville girls. Let's mention who made all district regular season for them. Callie Underwood, 3rd team all district. Great to see Callie back out there. Of course, she had to miss a year due to a concussion. Other members, Mackenzie Heron and Molly Story, honorable mention for the Gordonsville boys. Jay Foster and Brody Sykes made 1st team all district. Eli Adams, 2nd team all district. Tristan Wood, 3rd team all district. James Peoples, honorable mention. Tucker Smith made honorable mention, and the all defensive team, of course, Smith out a lot of the year with an injury. Smith County girls, Aaron Enoch, Chloe Collins, 1st team all district. Marissa Spivey, 2nd team all district and all defensive. You had Emory Jones, 3rd team all district and all freshman. Daisy Claywell, honorable mention, made the all freshman and all defensive team. And Julia Dickerson, a senior, made the honorable mention for the Owls of Smith County. Clayton Rigsby made 1st team all district. Peyton Hicks, 2nd team all district. Bennett Gammon, 3rd team all district. Taylor Kemp, 3rd team all district. Gage Gibbs and Tyler Jones, 2 freshmen, make honorable mention for Coach Trey Sanders, who just had a birthday. believe it was yesterday, for his team. For the County girls and Coach Ashley Patrick, co-district MVPs was Abilene Teeter and Abby Alexander. Abilene Teeter also made the all-defensive team, as did Jenna Bush. Then the all-district first team was Jenna Bush and Addie King. Addie King was also the defensive MVP of the district. Nora Walkup, first team all-district. And then Miley Swartz and Leah Prater made honorable mention. I'm sorry I don't have County's boys all-district. We'll get that from Coach Naves and mention it on a subsequent show. For DeKalb County in 7 AAA, Connor Close made first team all-district, and then DeKalb County girls, Ella Van Branken, second team all-district, and Chloe Van Branken, honorable mention. Well, we'll have an interview with the Pickett County boys head coach, which is Joseph Amonett, when we return to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
So, go check it out.
Deterring crime. It's the first job of a home security system from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. The time to get started is right now.
Let us help protect your home.
So?
A lot of nice stuff and an alarm.
Don't delay. Call DTC Security now or visit us online.
Welcome into the box score. We want to thank our fine sponsors, which is Carthage Safeway. He's their title sponsor. And Murphy Farrell, along with Terry Collins, Justin Malden, always doing a great job for us. And been joined by a good friend of mine, known this rascal a long time. I guess I saw him play his first basketball game in junior high when his famous dad, Norman Amonett, who could break into any gym in the state or the nation, and we did that a few times back when Joseph played for Wake Forest. I think the time that they can arrest you is now past, Joseph. It's been so long since you left the Demon Deacons, but I have carried ice bags, did concessions, did some different things to get in the gyms when we got somewhere and couldn't get a ticket. So that's been a few years ago.
It's been a few years, and you all were creative. I'll give you that.
Coach, I think he's gone a little bit too far there in all that discussion.
Exactly.
Norman and I still chuckle about that. Of course, your dad still goes to the game, and of course, you got a brother Lee that coaches the junior high. Joseph, a former player there. I know, Joseph, when I walk into that gym, you can just feel the history and nostalgia associated with that, and just to be a part of that, has to be exciting on a night in, night out basis.
It is. It's we're still playing in the only gym that's ever been built in our county for our high school. It was originally built with our first high school that had a gym. So a lot of history there. I think this one was built in '59. So it's the same gym from '59 that we've been playing in for years, and they've done a good job of maintaining the gym and trying to keep it updated. But a lot of history there and a lot of pride.
Does it look like the gym in the movie Hoosiers?
Somewhat, not so much that, but we've got seating to the floor. We don't have them sitting up, but we do go downstairs to the locker rooms in the basement like the old gyms did. We do have modern heating and cooling now, thank goodness. But there is an old flavor, and we still have the fan backboards on the sides that are left from the '50s that we've refurbished and left up for our side goals. So there's still some remnants of the '50s that are in the gym.
That's awesome.
Coach, when you look at your team this year, you win the district, kind of stubbed your toe against Red Bull in there in a late going when you have a lot of games in a few days. But still, you've kind of been the clear-cut favorite in District 7A. I know you've looked ahead at maybe what the possible region is, although you got district tournament going on this week. How do you feel your team is playing? Because I think you had won maybe 13 of your last 14 games before you lost to Red Bull in last Thursday.
I feel like we're playing really well. I do think we play in an incredibly difficult region. When you look at the talent that we've got in our district and then the talent that we've got in our region, to be honest with you, the 4 classifications probably hurt us a little as far as redistricting and region. As far as the talent that's coming through Knowledge Academies, East Robertson, and Joe Burns right now, I don't think long term it'll hurt us. But these first few years, it's been pretty tough. A lot of good teams in our conference and our region, and just looking forward to the postseason play that we get started on Friday night.
Coach, I've been doing Cannon County's basketball on the radio this year, and their boys were upset at Cannon County last week, and that was the shocker of the season. Nobody really saw that coming, but I thought the coach did a good job, Coach Nave, in saying maybe that's a positive thing. It gave us a wake-up call, so to speak, knowing that now the kids fully understand when I say it's not just showing up at the gym you've got to do. You've got to work just as hard as you do against the second place team when you play the fifth place team. Would that kind of be the situation there for you?
I think so. I played my first 2 years. I played for Coach Charles Mitchell that, he won the first state championship in girls basketball in our school and the first boys. And he always said, a late season loss probably helps you in postseason. And when you're winning 13 of your last 14 games, you're seeing things that need to be corrected. It is harder to get kids' attention when they're still winning. And to go through a loss like we did at the end of the season, and that luckily it didn't impact us as far as seeding or it didn't knock us out of winning a conference championship like we did. But I do think it creates an opportunity if you use it the right way to correct some things that you had going on wrong while you were still winning, and to put you in a position to really be focused and not overlook anybody in the postseason play.
Joseph, when you look at your schedule and some of your non-district teams that you play here in Upper Cumberland, you don't schedule a bunch of cream puffs, and I say that in respect because I think it gets you better for the tournament. And when you see these tougher teams, is that a fair assessment?
I think so. I try to make a conscious effort, especially when I think that we're going to be competitive. That our district, our conference is real deliberate the way we play. A lot of inside players, real good coaching. We don't have a tremendous amount of speed and athleticism, so I try to go out and try to get us some of those games so that we, if we play in East Robertson or a Chattanooga Prep or a Joe Burns or Knowledge Academies, we've played that before. It's not the first time. And then I try to go play the bigger teams like Stone Memorial that are going to have bigger bodies, stronger bodies, more guys on the bench. So, last time I checked, they really don't give you a championship for what your record is during the season. So, we want to play a really tough regular season so that it'll put us, we play a tournament sport in basketball. So everything you do is trying to prepare your team for the tournament, for the postseason play. I do think that there is a fine line. You don't need to load up and get yourself beat down so much that you don't have confidence. So I think we've done a good job this year of scheduling some bigger schools, some athletic schools, and we were able to have a good enough record that we should be able to handle whatever. I'm not saying we're going to win, but whatever we run into in the postseason, it will not be the first time that we saw a team like that.
Coach, when I go to Byrdstown, and I've seen your teams, boys and girls, play for a long, long time. Not nearly as much as Terry has, but nonetheless, I know it's a very special place. And it's one of those communities that basketball is kind of a year-round sport for you all. I know you have started a football program several years ago, and I went up there to watch a game one night. But were you destined to be a coach on the hardwood? It seems like you grew up and excelled in basketball there in Byrdstown, and it seems like, from my point of view anyway, that there wasn't anything else you probably had on your mind as to what you were going to do to earn a living.
To be real honest with you, I kind of fell into coaching by default. When I got done in college, my college coach offered me a position there at Wake Forest, is what they call the limited earnings position. They've done away with that now. They don't have a limited earnings assistant coach, and I decided to pass. And about a year and a half later, he took the job at South Carolina and offered me an assistant coaching job. And then I had an assistant coach that went to Virginia Tech and offered me a spot. And I just made a decision not to coach. Stayed out of college coaching. Really didn't want to coach. Really didn't want to coach high school, and I really didn't want to come back. Had such a good experience at Pickett County. You kind of don't want to come back and ruin it by becoming the coach someday. And we got into a situation where I was volunteering coaching middle school, and we had former player Coach Nathan Aaron was up there coaching, and he got a job with the state at like the end of October of 2016, and we really didn't have anybody else to coach, so I agreed to do it for 1 year, and that was 8 years ago. And I'm still doing it. I'm fortunate that I get to coach at Pickett County, where they do love basketball. We do have great community support, and we have great support from our school administration. So it's been a really good experience for me, but something that I never really intended on doing.
I'd say just about everybody in Pickett County looks up to you because of the life lessons that you're teaching kids, not to mention the fact that you're winning the lion's share of the time.
I don't know about that. I fail every day, but I'm trying to make a difference in kids' lives. I'm trying to help them to have an experience that'll carry on with them when they're my age, that they'll remember, that'll be positive, that'll put them in position on how to deal with failure, how to deal with success. And most importantly, I'm a big believer in team sports, and I think team sports teaches you how to make it in the world. And hopefully I can help create an environment that some kids from Pickett County will have a good enough experience that they'll be more successful adults.
Coach, I'm sorry, Terry, I don't mean to hoard this, but you made the comment that you fail every day at something. But I've heard a lot of people say if you don't fail, you're not doing anything. So keep doing what you're doing, okay?
I appreciate that.
Joseph, when you look, I know your dad's been a great influence on you, and I'm not talking about from the farming aspect or, I know you worked for Farm Bureau like he did back years ago, but talk about, and Norman and I are good friends, you know that, known each other a long time, how much of an influence he's had basketball-wise, because, I remember your dad and I, when we would go to your games, it would be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when we would get back. Both of us had to work the next day, but we didn't think anything about that. That takes a special kind of person that does that. Did he get to see all your games? No, he didn't. But to have somebody that supportive, even when you were sitting on the bench and maybe not playing, that had to mean a lot to you.
Oh, it did. I've been extremely fortunate to have a great father. That it's funny. He was not a basketball guy. Like when I was younger, my mom was a teacher, and when I was in second and third grade, he didn't even go to the basketball games. I just went with my mom. He was a football guy in high school, and then the more I got to playing, the more interested he got. And then, he did a great job of supporting me, and it was unconditionally. He supported me whether I played well or I played bad. It really didn't change. And it didn't matter from the time I was in 7th and 8th grade. If he had a meeting in Laverne and I was going to play Livingston Middle School at 7:30 on a Monday night, my dad would drive back from Laverne. He'd watch the game. He'd drive back to Laverne that night. And that was kind of, one year we were playing Clemson on a Tuesday night. He got stuck on I-40 in Black Mountain and sat there for 3 days in his car because he got stuck in a snowstorm. So he went all over the United States. I guess the only place that I can say that my dad never did follow me to play was I played over in Taiwan for a while on a invitational team in college. That some of those that played in the ACC went on, that we were over there for a month. He did not make that trip. Outside of that, he made every trip that he could, and he did it in a manner that that didn't have great expectation for what I accomplished. He was just there to support me and support the team, and was just a great example of what a sports parent, and especially a sports father, should be.
Joseph, I remember, and I'm not going to talk about scores. We're going to leave that off the table. But I remember in a game at Byrdstown when Smith County was playing y'all, and in the very first quarter, we held you to 24 points. I thought, this guy's going to break the scoreboard by himself, and I don't know what the record is, but I was afraid we was going to see a Wilt Chamberlain 100 put up that night.
He had 24 points by himself?
By himself in the first quarter. Not the team, just him. And hitting threes from deep. I'm talking about 25, 28, 30 foot. Is that the best quarter of basketball that you've ever shot?
It's definitely the best quarter of basketball I ever shot and ended up losing. I can say that. I'll go ahead and tell you, in my career, I was 0-3 versus Dirk Ash coach teams, and Brandon Cothran from Smith County takes full credit for them winning. Every game had nothing to do with Scott Moore, and but we had some battles with those Smith County teams those 2 years. I think we went 35-3 my senior year, won a state championship. We lost to Smith County twice. 2 of those 3 losses were to Smith County, and I think I averaged 51 points a game. So Dirk was pretty smart. He was going to let me get my 50, and he was going to win. So we'll leave it at that.
Coach, if I didn't know any better, I'd think Dirk probably paid Terry to ask that question.
Well, there's no question. I run into Dirk Ash once every 5 years, and he always says, "What was your record against me?" I said, "Coach, you know what your record was."
Just show him the gold ball, Coach. That's the easiest way to do that. Speaking of that, I know you got the tournament coming up, and you get the opportunity to coach with your brother and coach your son. I know that's got to be special, especially in a place like Pickett County, where basketball is king, and I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say that, but to be with your family like that, and you've got to coach your sons plural, how special is that, Coach?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I will say this, I think I'm doing a better job now than I did with my 2 older twin sons, Zach and Will. I think I do a better job with Jacob. When you're coaching your sons, it's complicated. It's a complicated process for them, for the fans, for your team, and I think it's like everything else. I think you get better at it, and I'm just fortunate, I guess, that I had 3, so I could get better at it. But it's a special opportunity to get to coach a son. It's a special opportunity to have your younger brother be an assistant coach, and I'm trying to do a better job of savoring the moment, because those opportunities don't come around every day.
Well, Coach Amonett, we appreciate you visiting with us. Best of luck to the Pickett County Bobcats in the district region, and hopefully on to the state tournament where you as a player got to experience winning a gold ball and also throwing a little Mr. Basketball for the cherry on top.
Appreciate you guys.
What a great interview that was with Joseph Amonett. When you think of Pickett County basketball, Joseph Amonett, I guarantee you, is in the top 2 or 3 player, maybe the greatest all time to ever play it in Byrdstown. That says a lot.
Well, scoring 24 points in one quarter against Smith County and Dirk Ashe is quite an accomplishment of its own. But, and maybe not to the extent that Joseph is trying to go through or has gone through, but there's situations like that in just about every Upper Cumberland community. One guy that just really stands out, the one in Rutherford County that stands out the most in terms of what I have heard is Montgomery.
Right.
And but Cannon County's got one of those people. Smith County does. White County does. It's just generally speaking, the Upper Cumberland is basketball.
Right.
Period.
True.
That's it.
Yeah, it's true. But great interview with Joseph, and for him to get into coaching, of course, he's got a full-time gig at Farm Bureau where he's over. If I'm not mistaken, Farm Bureau is all the way to the Tennessee River. So there are several counties, including all of these around here, where he's, over them and got a lot of work to do and still has time to coach his hometown team.
Got to have a love for it, and he certainly does.
That's for sure. Murph, we want to wish all our local teams the very best of luck. District tournaments this week. And looking forward to next week as the district should be over and the region tournaments, quarterfinals, first rounds will be set.
To all those female coaches out there, happy Valentine's Day, girls.
That's true. For Justin Malden and Murphy Ferry, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the Lock Score.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.